How much is it what the Nuggets want you to improve on? How much is it what you want to improve on? What's your routine like over these the first few weeks or first? The summer here.
Yeah, so while I was actually home in Arizona, working with my dad and my brothers, that's, what I've been doing for, 8 to 9 years now, and I'm doing that every summer. So the summers I have with them, are unbelievable. We push each other. We work extremely hard. So those days usually always start at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and we're up doing basketball and weights, for 3 to 4 hours, 2 on the court or an hour in the weight room. It just depends. But we're going extremely hard, treating everything game-like, so those are the times, I really cherish the most, just because I'm working hard, I'm working on my game, but I'm doing it with my family. My dad's a strength and conditioning coach. My older brother's a basketball or a basketball trainer. And then my middle brother, plays overseas. So,
right.
Our whole family's just all around it, and, we all kind of just work together. So it's a great experience. I've been doing it for so long that, it's just something I've grown accustomed to every summer, just coming home and working out with them. But I usually always am up early working out, take a little bit of the afternoon to rest, recover, and then I usually go back in early afternoon to shoot or do something again. And then at night, I'm always, getting up shots as well. But that's usually my routine back home. But when I'm here in Denver, we have scheduled times, to work out in the morning.
Right.
I'm usually with our player development coaches on the court for about an hour, and then I'm in the weight room with our strength and conditioning coaches. So that's been the routine. I've been in the gym every day for the past month, just being in Denver. We're doing a lot of different things, to get me prepared, for the summer as well, for the next season. So, the two routines are different, but similar, so I'm fortunate that when I'm home and away from, the organization, I'm able to, not really lose a step.
That's got to be pretty special to be able to work out with your family like that. That's something that I'm guessing, some players have, some don't, but that's got to be special.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, So for me personally, my family means everything to me. So just to have the opportunity, to be around them every day, and they push me. My middle brother Jordan, he's the best player I've ever played against. And he pushes me each and every day. And we grow closer as a family, but also we get each other better with our game, just with our physical fitness. So it's a great unique thing that our family has, and it's been a blessing for us to be able to do that for so long.
What do the Nuggets want you to work on this summer specifically?
Yeah, I think, just continue to get familiar with, the way the game's played in the NBA. Of course, change of speed, being more elusive, expanding my range, continuing to just improve upon the decision-making, as well as, playmaking, just with the player I am. They want me to, continue to brush up on that. And then just continuing to understand schemes and how we play. I think that's, one of the biggest things, I'm taking into this offseason is just continuing to immerse myself into the playbook, how we run our defense, different schemes that we play against different teams. There's been a lot of film that I've watched, this entire offseason. So, just trying to, kind of go back to the basics in terms of just getting familiar with everything that we do here in Denver. So it's been a great, maturation process, and I'm looking forward to, continuing to show what I can do.
So you are going to summer league, right? You said. How do you approach that? Like, what are some of your individual goals? Do you have individual goals for what you want to accomplish out there, or what's kind of your mindset heading out there?
My mindset is just to play how I know how to play. I'm not going in there necessarily with an agenda. I'm just gonna play my butt off. Whoever's on the team that we take to Vegas, just really try to build great camaraderie with those guys and make them feel welcome, and kind of be a leader in a sense. I've been around the organization for a year, so just using the knowledge that I have being around Denver for this year, kind of just giving that to the guys that we bring on the team. So I just want to be able to serve as best as I can. I just want to be. If I did have something going into summer league, I definitely want to serve in any way I can. Whether that's on the court, off the court, build great relationships. But just being able to play in an event like summer league is going to be exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what transpires in these next couple of days. With the draft and seeing who's on the team, and then in a week or two going down to Vegas and being able to compete.
I did see Monte tweeted that he thinks you're going to lead Summer League in scoring. So I didn't know if that was on that to-do list or not.
Me and Monte, been in the gym every day. It's a guy I'm extremely close with. We hang out a lot, away from the court. He's been a great, mentor to me, guy I look up to, and he showed me a lot of the ropes, my first year, but also just this offseason as well. He always supports me when I do, so I appreciate that for sure. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just going there hoping to win as many games as we can. Hoping to shed light on some of the great players that we're going to be bringing in. So I'm just looking forward to just having an opportunity to go out there and showcase what I can do. Whether it's scoring, whether it's facilitating, playmaking, whatever I can do that the team needs me to do, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
We got the draft coming up, obviously. Your experience in the draft, obviously it was different than what these guys are going through this year, because I don't think there were really many pre-draft workouts or any of that stuff.
It wasn't really a draft process.
Right. There wasn't really a draft process. But if you think back to like draft night, what do you remember about it? Like, where were you? What were the type of emotions you were feeling? Like, was it nerve-wracking at all?
I wouldn't say nervous, I was more so just wondering, what would transpire. I talked with Denver, a week before the draft, and they expressed their interest in me, and they wanted to, offer me a deal, and they weren't sure if I was gonna be available at all. They figured someone would draft me earlier, and I had a lot of options. I could have gotten drafted, but I just with who I am as a person, just the excitement that Tim Connelly and the organization had about me as a player, and the faith and belief that they had in me, that spoke to me more so than just hearing my name called. So I understand that's the dream. It's always been a dream of mine to hear my name called, but this being my profession, this being my job, I want to be sure I'm protecting myself, my family, doing the best thing for my family as well as myself too. I just felt Denver was the place for me. So it was very emotional, when things were all said and done. I just remember being very emotional with my family. I look back on that process, it was a very long process. It was an 8-month process. I didn't have any draft workouts. I was, with COVID, I was literally home for 8 months, just training every day, not knowing when, the time would come, the draft would get pushed back, month after month after month. So you're just sitting there like, when is it going to happen? So it was definitely a trying time, but, the way it worked out was the way it was supposed to be, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where God wants me to be. So I'm fortunate, I'm looking forward to see what comes in the future. But right now I'm just happy with where I'm at, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
So you probably could have gotten drafted in the second round, but you want to go to Denver. Are you and your agent telling teams like, don't draft me because I want to take this deal with Denver? How does that work?
Of course, in the back of my mind, just, with how Denver expressed their interest in me, they were, the team I wanted to be with, just because no other team had done that. Of course, you want to be smart about it. You want to, kind of play your chess move and see what other teams could possibly do in terms of a deal. But Denver came with me with a deal, and it was guaranteed. And other teams that wanted to draft me, there were teams in the low to mid 30s that wanted to draft me all the way to pick number 60, but they wouldn't match what Denver was going to offer me. And I think Denver just coming at me with a guaranteed contract, with everything guaranteed on it. I think that just showed, the type of belief that they had in me. And I think that spoke more to me than, a team just matching a contract. I think, the action was, Denver has a vision for me, and they had a belief in me as a player, and, what I could bring to the organization. So that spoke volumes to me. So for me, it was more so just the type of feel and, the type of feelings I got with Denver and the people within the organization.
Was Tim kind of spearheading that?
For sure. Yeah, no. Yeah. Tim was the first person I talked to in certain regards. It was funny because we were talking, and he was kind of discussing the draft, and he was saying, yeah, we have the 22nd pick. And he kind of paused for a second. I'm thinking, is he saying like they're going to take me at 22? And I literally was like freaking out. But then right when I started like freaking out, he goes, "We're not taking you." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "All right." Like, okay. And so that kind of just shut it all down with that. But yeah, no, me and Tim have a great relationship, and I'm fortunate to be able to work for a guy like that, and just what he represents from a big picture organization standpoint. He's about his players. So he's awesome, and I'm fortunate that, he definitely took a chance with me, and, I'm happy to be where I'm at.
All right, so we're back here on the show. That was a nice little one-on-one with Markus Howard. I'm a Markus Howard guy now after that.
My only complaint is you didn't ask him about Boston connections, but that's all right.
I was actually leaving that question for you.
Oh, okay.
Your next interview with him, you can ask him about that.
So, hey, first question. Have you ever heard me call you Markus? And what do you think about it?
Yeah.
And why are you upset right now?
Yeah. Do we want to catch up on some of the picks that we just missed here? Some interesting names just recently came off the board.
My ears are perked up.
So Oklahoma City took Jeremiah Robinson-Earl from Villanova.
Jeremiah
Vogt, you liked
Robinson-Earl.
him, right?
I'm sorry, what was that? I wasn't paying attention.
The Oklahoma City Thunder took Jeremiah Robinson-Earl from Villanova. You liked him, right?
He was a okay, now I hear you. As a defensive option, he's about 6'9", right? If I have that right, moves his feet fairly well. I mean, he's a little ground bound. He's not the most athletic guy in the world. Offensively, maybe he's limited, but if you, from the perspective of there are good defenders in this draft, maybe go get one. Robinson-Earl definitely fits that bill.
Orlando then came back and took Jason Preston out of Ohio, a
Unreal.
favorite of the DNVR Nuggets podcast in the lead up to the draft.
Yeah, Adam Mars actually just broke a window, just punched right through it.
I actually haven't
Blood
seen
everywhere.
him since that pick was
He
announced.
choked out one of our members.
Yeah. And then, this is I think the latest pick right here. New Orleans is on the clock, and they took Herb Jones out of Alabama, who is an interesting prospect because he's one of the better wing defenders in the draft. He's a senior. He's a little older, but a very good defender. I thought if Denver was going to get back into the draft, which I don't know if they are, maybe not, maybe he would be a guy that they target because he is like a top-level defender in this draft.
He also has a name that makes me think he's like my elderly neighbor next door.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at old Herb Jones out mowing the lawn.
Oh, Herb Jones does sound like a racist guy, but I'm not saying that about actual Herb
either
Jones.
that or like a horn player.
But when let's talk about why he dropped this far then, because obviously there's the elite defensive potential there in abundance, but maybe more so than some of these other guys, definitively like a specialist, right? I mean, offensively he's limited. Is there upside there?
With Herb Jones, there's a little bit because he's really athletic. He's pretty bouncy. Like, he can get off the floor. He's pretty long. He's a little different than like a Torrey Craig because he's a little more bouncy. Than a Torrey Craig. But he's really primarily a defender, so not like a super game changer, but I think he could have a role.
Yeah, but he's also a wing defender, and that's the mode of everybody right now. Like, you have to stop the top wings in the league, and the wings are the ones that are, winning championships. Like, that's like really what controls everything. So to have a guy that can guard wings, that can step out and guard guards for a little bit, that could be a specialist. Like, he's a player that, although it seems like it's small, it's pretty big because he's the ones that's going to be pushing guys in practice. He's also going to be in a position that you could put him into those like situations where you got to slow a guy down, and he's not going to make too much mistakes because offensively he doesn't have those type of things, but he has the tools that you need to keep going.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap up here. And
one more pick, by the way.
We got another pick?
We have another pick, and it's germane to our discussion. Miles McBride, Deuce McBride, finally off the board.
Okay.
According to Shams, Thunder taking him at 36.
Wow.
Okay.
I think that's
so
pretty
the
good
Thunder
value for
taking
McBride.
all the good players.
Is this like their 15th pick? Meaning that they only have 34 remaining?
They're going to actually do this every draft for the next 20
My
drafts.
God.
Oh, I think does that pick? Oh, that pick goes to the Knicks.
The Knicks, yep.
Yep, because there's been trades. So
they'll love
excuse
him in the
me on
Garden.
that. It's a Knicks pick. Yep. So the Knicks get Miles McBride. Good
All
for,
right,
good for
well,
the old Knickerbockers.
We're going to wrap up on this live show. We are going to have a recap show immediately going live right now.
About to tweet
right
it out.
As this stream ends.
About
but
to tweet
I'm
it
gonna
out.
get off here, go talk to Bones McBride. Adam's coming back into the hosting chair. Bones McBride. Bones Highland.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go talk to Bones Highland. Adam's going to come back in this hosting chair, and we'll be right back live with a recap show in 1 sec.